All right, we are with Rolly Uloth of Rosedale Group. How are we doing today?
We're doing great. How are you?
Good. I don't know if you've ever been on a podcast before, but you look natural at it. You're doing a great job. So you are considered the president. So tell us a little bit about tell us about Rosedale. What do you guys do here?
Rosedale started as a commodity carrier back in the regulatory days,
right?
With various operating authorities, which went away in the early 1980s.
Yeah.
Today, Rosedale is a general freight carrier.
Okay.
We basically focus on the van business. We really are not in the flat deck business, refrigerated business, or any of those other things, tankers, etc.
Right, and you have a wide network. You guys are across Canada, the U.S., so tell us some of the locations that you have.
In Canada, we're in Quebec City,
Okay.
Granby, Quebec,
Right.
Montreal, Quebec. Ontario, we're in Ottawa. We're in Toronto. We're in Barrie.
Right.
We're in London.
Okay.
In the western provinces, we're in Winnipeg, Regina, Saskatoon, Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, and Kelowna.
And
in Canada.
Yeah, and then you've got a place in the U.S. too, right?
In the U.S., we have a facility in Dalton, Georgia, which is 25 miles south of Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Right. Been through Dalton, nice place. So how did you get to building up a network like that? Was it just based on where customers were, or did you find certain type of freight going?
In the initial days, the company started in 1969.
Right.
In the regulatory days, and we started with 2 accounts.
Okay, wow.
We were based in Hamilton at that time, and basically I drove the truck, and we went from Hamilton to Toronto and back every day.
Nice.
Basically doing same-day service.
Right.
With 2 named accounts.
Right.
One of them, which is I'm proud to say, 49 years later, is still an account.
Nice. So you're doing something right for that.
Did something right.
So it's been 49 years you guys have been in business?
We're enjoying our 50th year, starting in August.
Oh, well, congratulations. That's a big milestone to hit. So you guys, is there a certain type of freight? Like, is it automotive or just any general van freight?
Early days, it wasn't by planning, it was just by fate that the first 2 customers we had were involved in the floor covering industry.
Okay.
One was a ceramic tile manufacturer in Hamilton, and the other was a wholesale carpet distributor.
Okay.
Which is still an account to this day.
Right.
And through that, we got to know a few people. I got to know a few people, and they would leave one of those companies and go to a new company. Okay. So I'd have an in at the new company. I knew a name to call.
Nice.
But the negative part of that whole world was the regulatory environment again. I had to go get an operating authority for that named shipper. So at one stage of the game, I had around 25 named accounts on my PCV license at that time.
Wow.
So that's how the company grew. And of course, we grew. I remember expanding to Kitchener and Niagara Falls. It was a big play.
The metropolis expansion.
I still recall the day we started serving London, Ontario.
Nice.
Things such as that.
Yeah.
Things grew by those original shippers would send us to Ottawa for the sake of argument.
Right.
And then I had another account in Cornwall that would load us back.
Yeah.
And the natural move after that was into Quebec province.
Right.
So we applied to the Quebec Transport Commission and got authorities to haul goods from Quebec into Ontario and to the United States.
Right.
During that same period of time, we bought an ICC authority from a guy in Buffalo so we could do the 48 state authority thing in the United States.
Yeah.
Which became redundant about 2 years later, but as fate had it, I sold it to somebody else when they were virtually worthless. But, so anyway, that got us involved in Georgia, and I had one account in Quebec that shipped a load a week to Georgia, and that's how we started going to Dalton, Georgia.
Wow. So those early days were just you in a truck, and now how many people would you have employed through your network today?
Well, Canada and the U.S., we probably have 600 employees.
Wow.
We run about 700 power units and around 1,400 trailers.
Wow.
So that's
a lot of equipment, a lot of people.
A lot of people. We have a number of 20-plus year people working for us.
Good. So you're doing something right. Good culture then.
Yeah, for the most part it is. And very few people leave us once we get the career started here.
Right.
Very few leave.
Right. And so you must have seen so many changes in the industry. You know, I started driving in the 80s, drove for 25 years. You've been building a company through that. So what kind of changes do you feel it's getting better? Or is our industry getting better or worse? What's your opinion?
I feel our industry is getting worse.
Yeah.
I thought it was tough back in the regulatory days. That was a piece of cake.
Yeah.
You know. But even after deregulation, I mean, that's when all the truckload carriers appeared. That was really a new world.
Yeah.
Because the old general freight carriers that are no longer with us, direct winners and people such as that,
right,
we just went terminal to terminal to terminal.
Yeah.
And that. But it has changed. The culture of the driver has changed. The culture on the highway for the drivers has changed. If you looked at the Toronto-Montreal lane or Calgary-Edmonton lane, every driver knew the driver for the other company running on that lane, and they stopped at the truck stop and had a coffee together. That doesn't happen today.
Yeah.
And it happens a little bit with the older guys, but the younger guys are not into that world.
That's right.
They're you have the cultural differences with the ethnic group.
Yep.
They tend to stay together, and various things stay together. They're not a combined group on the highway anymore.
Right.
You know, if a driver broke down, someone stopped and helped him. Today, you would die on the side of the road.
That's right. You're not allowed to stop and help because of insurance reasons usually. So
it's a big cultural change. Shippers valued your services back in those days. Today, you're a commodity.
Right.
And they treat you like a commodity. That being said, there's a lot of good shippers.
Yeah.
That value your business. We have one major account that 4 years ago knew that this truck crunch was coming and paid us appropriately and rewarded us appropriately. And we are proud to care for them today.
That's great. So with the changing times, because there was a time when you brought somebody on who was just a go-getter, willing to learn, and you could groom them into the driver that you want. Now they're coming out of schools and they've got different ideas of what the industry. So how do you bring somebody on? If we're bringing on a driver, let's say to Rosedale, what kind of give us an overview of what the process?
Well, and we participate to a great degree and bring in drivers from the driving schools.
Yeah.
When the driver comes here, in my opinion, he's not trained for anything except he has his Class 1 or Class A license.
Yeah.
We spend up to 6 weeks with that individual, with a trainer, trying to show him the rules and how the industry really works, what being a truck driver is. Yeah. The sad part is a lot of kids go and spend their $9,000 at a school. They want to be a highway driver, and they have no idea what a highway driver is.
Right.
They're way varying hours. You're driving weekends. You're driving nights. You're crossing borders, and it's a whole new environment with these people that they were never properly told or advised before they spent their $9,000.
Yeah.
That being said, we've had some success stories here with people we brought on. We have a young lady that joined us, and she wanted to be a highway driver. After a few weeks, she came to us and said, I can't do this. But we backed her into just a local driver position.
Okay.
That's one of the advantages Rosedale has. We can bring you in, even going to school, and let you work in the warehouse, or let you shunt trucks in the yard, or start. I don't think you should start on the highway. I think if you came here from school, you should start as a straight truck driver, and then maybe just hauling a local trailer around town to doing deliveries. And maybe I'll give you a highway move to London, Ontario, 100 miles away.
That's right. That's the way I started.
and let you expand your horizons like that. And then when you have enough experience, and it's varying degree with people, some people catch on faster than others. Then you can go to Montreal, let's call it.
Yes.
And then you can go to Atlanta, Georgia, or you can go to Winnipeg or thing. But I think you should grow into that job as opposed to just coming out of school and think, I'm going to
that's where the appreciation factor comes in. I know I started in the moving industry, so I started as a helper just loading the trucks and saw the driver was lifting a little less than I was. That's what made me go and become a driver.
Right.
So and it's like sweeping the warehouse, and then you appreciate it when you get a trailer. You understand when someone says clean out the trailer and sweep it out, you understand exactly what
That's exactly right.
Because of the great network, you have the opportunity. I think probably one of the reasons you keep people in your company so long is if somebody needs to move to the other side of the country, you can still accommodate them without losing an employee if that's of something.
That's exactly a mode that we have.
Yeah.
It's gentleman running our London terminal today used to be working on the dock and dispatch here in Toronto.
Okay.
We have the guy running our Kelowna terminal that used to be our ops manager here in Mississauga.
Yeah.
We have individuals that have and want to move from Winnipeg to Vancouver for the sake of working the warehouse. We have those opportunities.
Right.
We have a guy working in our Ottawa terminal that was a dispatcher here.
Yeah.
So we're very flexible and have that other option that a lot of carriers don't have.
Right, right. And the nice thing is you have actually the best of both worlds. And you probably realize this, but I've worked for family carriers, and I love the family carriers. You're that personal.
Mm-hmm.
But when I wanted to grow outside of the one position they had available, you didn't have anywhere to go so you've got that network where if somebody wants to move into a dispatch position who was driving, or the other way around, or what have you, you can help them if the position's available. Correct.
And we do that.
Yeah.
We do that. It's gentleman that's running our Montreal facility today started as an agency worker in the warehouse.
Yeah.
And became one of our warehouse workers. Yeah. And became a dispatcher. Now he's the terminal manager in Montreal.
Yeah.
So there's another good example of homegrown talent. And they become company employees. It's more than just a job.
Right, and it makes for a stronger network. So how do people learn more about you? You've probably got a ton of positions here. I know you have a ton of driving positions that need filled. So how do people learn more about Rosedale Group?
Well, we're not out there advertising everything about us and things like that. We keep a low profile, kind of in the industry for almost 50 years.
Yeah.
People took us just to be a carpet hauler.
Yeah.
We hauled many other things, but I never told them I was hauling many other things. And today, the floor covering business is still a big part of our business, but we have so many other things that we do in addition to that.
Yeah.
It has to be clean freight, driver friendly, that moves in a van.
Right.
And we're not all into hauling big generators or motors or any of that.
There's a whole market for that somewhere else.
There's other guys that do that.
Yeah.
And so we've kind of stayed to our knitting. You can say the van business is very competitive. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But it's what you do and how you do it. I'm a firm believer of giving quality service for quality pricing, and not the cheap pricing.
Right.
But doing the value add afterwards.
That's
because if there's not enough money in it, you can't give any value add.
That's right. And so people go to rosedalegroup.com. Is that where our website probably the best place to start?
Rosedale.ca, rosedale.com.
You've got a few of them, yes.
We can give you a lot of addresses if you would care to have.
Yeah, well, we'll put some in the show notes for everybody so they can find. Romy, thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Very well. Thank you for coming out.